Welcome to Wednesday Tip Day. I am here on the back of the 7th green here at Duckwoods Country Club, and I had a special request come in to specifically talk about this shot today. When you have zero green to work with and you only have about 4 or 5 yards before you get to the pin. So a short side bunker shot where you have no room at all to work with, okay? So in last week's tip, we talked about bounce. I have my 60-degree lob wedge here today, and I'm gonna make sure, as we talked about last week, keeping that club face open like we have a glass of wine sitting on it. I'm gonna use this back of this club, using that flange and the bounce to do its job. If you paid attention to a couple other tips several weeks ago about how we talked about 10-yard shots and 20-yard shots, knowing where our hands work on the clock, we're gonna do the same thing with this tip. I'm only gonna pretend I'm gonna hit a 10-yard shot, but it's only gonna go maybe 4 or 5 yards. But because of the sand, that's gonna help alleviate some of that distance I would normally have if I'm hitting a shot out off the fairway. So as we talked about last week, I'm gonna make sure my face is open, my body's open and left to my intended target, and I'm gonna go ahead and dig my feet in and get some good stable base here. As you can see, that this sand is still fairly firm from the storm the other day, from the hurricane, but I'm still gonna be able to make sure that when I transport this club, I'm using my hands, arms, shoulders, and chest to transport that club to just about here, and then I'm gonna make sure I accelerate through just to about the other side. If I don't accelerate, that ball's never gonna get out, or I'm gonna be laying in the rough, and I'm gonna have even a more difficult shot. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm accelerating through with my trunk, and I'm stopping on the other side with a good finish. So let's see how this works, okay? So again, you get a good stable base. I'm open to my target. My face is open. I'm gonna make a rehearsal, and I'm gonna enter that sand just about here, okay? I'm gonna make sure that my entrance is gonna be just about there, and I'm gonna use my chest to accelerate through the ball. So it should look a little something like this. And I'm out. And I'm just a few feet away from the hole. So again, we want to make sure we know where our hands work on the clock. We're going to go through to the other side, and we're going to make sure we accelerate through, but we're not going all the way up. If we go ahead and make a swing and we do this, you're never going to get out. You got to make sure that we're going here and we're accelerating through to the other side. I hope this tip helps you, and I look forward to seeing you next week for Wednesday Tip Day. Thank you for tuning in.